What is endorphin? They say, in scientific term, they say that endorphin is a pain masking chemical that helps us push ourselves through tough circumstances. You would have seen that people who do weightlifting or who do running, they even get addicted to it, because what happens is when you do weightlifting, heavy training, or when you are doing sprinting and running and all, this chemical is automatically released in your brain, which gives you very good feeling. So it gives you sort of a high. You feel like high sometimes when you do extreme training. It's because of this chemical. So excuse me, this feeling of being high becomes addictive. That's why you will see that a lot of people who are in weight training, they can't quit weight training. So for example, me, if I'll go to the gym and I would see weights, I would not be able to do cardio or light weights. I have to jump onto heavy weights, because that's like addiction to me. I see heavy weights, I feel like, yes, I have to do deadlifts, I have to do squats, I have to do this heavy weights, because the burst of that endorphin in my brain only happens when I do very heavy weight, where I'm sweating and I'm feeling dizzy, and then the chemical is released and I feel really good. So sometimes it is also released when you are experiencing extreme emotion of laughing or crying, right? It releases a small burst of endorphin as well. So for example, if you're watching a TV show, comedy show, and you're laughing, that chemical is released, but it is released in very small quantity, right? When you are watching movies, funny movies, when you are watching live comedy shows and all, you will experience this kind of chemical, which is endorphin. Sometimes you can experience it if you are a gym lover, or if you are a workout lover, or you do some kind of physical activity. So when you change your routine, you may experience the burst of endorphin in you. So that's another way of releasing endorphin. Now we come on to second happy chemical, which is dopamine. It is also known as feel-good hormone. Now dopamine is a hormone, and it's called neurotransmitter. That's an important part of your brain reward system. So dopamine is associated with pleasurable sensations, along with learning, memory, motor system, function, and more. It is also called one of the most dangerous chemical out of these four chemicals. Why? People get addicted to it, and they want to experience it more. The only way to experience it more is by going on to drugs and all. They experience it on a very high level. So it is a feeling which, so for example, you set a goal, you said, I want to buy a car, and you start saving money, right? And you said, okay, I've saved last 1 year, whole year I was saving money, I've got the money to buy the car. You went to the car dealer shop and you said, okay, I want to buy this car, and you did the down payment. They said, okay, you'll receive this car on Tuesday. So let's say you paid it on Friday. Till Tuesday, you'll feel that emotion, oh, I'm gonna buy it, I'm getting the car on Tuesday. The day when you buy it, you have this sensation going in your brain, and you're feeling, wow, that's so good when you're sitting in your car. Because you prepared, you set a goal, and you work towards that goal for whole year. And then you achieved that goal, and then you had this one. That is dopamine. It's the same thing when students, when they study whole year, and when they wait for the results, when the results come out and they scored highest numbers, they'll go like crazy, and that is because of dopamine. That's why they say it is a very addictive feeling. And the only downside with this is that it happens after working towards a goal. For a longer you work towards a goal, stronger it will be. If it is a short goal, okay, I've got money, I'll go and buy something day after tomorrow. The excitement of that would be only that much, because the chemical works in the quantity of this chemical depends, is directly proportional to of the time you worked for that particular thing. So that's why there are some good turns and for good reason too. When you achieve long short goal, take a step. So we were talking about dopamine. Now, the downside of dopamine is that people want to experience it all the time. So what do? They go on using substance like alcohol, nicotine. They take cocaine, even sometimes phones. Phones are very addictive, especially when Facebook first came out. People got addicted to Facebook. Then Candy Crush, they got addicted to it. They couldn't get their eyes off the phone because it was giving them that sensation, that pleasure to play or to use it. But that is the addictive side of it. The good side of it is that yes, can you release it naturally? Yes, you can. So all you have to do is set goals. Every time you achieve a goal, set another one. Set short-term goals, set long-term goals. So you're working towards short-term, so you're getting a small burst of dopamine, and then when you achieve your long-term, you get big dose of dopamine, which lasts for a few days as well while you're enjoying that goal. And then set goals, short-term, long-term, mid-term. So more goals you set, you will keep on having a continuous burst of dopamine in you. Now, dopamine can also be released by practicing meditation. Meditation is something which I practice myself. I'm practicing it from last 4 years, and I have helped other guys as well, people to practice it, and they've achieved the same outcome of it as I've achieved. So what meditation does is, it helps the flow of chemical in your brain in a proportional way. So whether it is happy chemical or sad chemical, unhappy chemical, it will help synchronize it, the entire flow. So if something is causing unhappiness, it won't cause you like extreme unhappiness. You can get over it easy. If something is very happy, you won't lose your entire understanding or your entire function of brain because you're so happy. So it will make you neutral. Means nothing is too happy, nothing is too sad. It's neutral. Everything, it brings balance in life. So if you have not tried meditation, try it. I'm going to do a video specific on what kind of meditations there are, how can you do it, and meditation doesn't mean that it's a religious thing. It's not a religious thing. It's the way your brain functions. You just train your brain on synchronizing things. Once it starts synchronizing with everything, once everything is syncing in place, in order, you will not feel anything extreme. Nothing can make you depressed, nothing can make you very happy. You'll be like, you will be able to take everything, face hardest situation in your life. You just face it with full confidence. It won't impact you. I had situations where people came to me, they went off, blah, blah, blah. Before I used to go off at them, I used to end up in a fight, but now it doesn't affect me because now I have learned how to disregard certain information going inside my brain and triggering that unhappy chemical or aggressiveness at all. It doesn't trigger me at all. So meditation is very good thing. If you can try it, it's very good. There was a small study which was conducted in 2002, and they said that the meditation increased the dopamine production during the practice. So when you're practicing your meditation, you would increase the production of dopamine. So that's why it is very good. You must practice meditation. Now we are coming on to third chemical, which is serotonin. Now this is a neurotransmitter as well, helps regulate your mood and your sleep as well. So it will regulate your mood and your sleep, which also affects your appetite, digestion, learning ability, and memory. So serotonin is a very important chemical as well. When people feel that they are depressed, doctors, what they do is they give them depression tablets or capsules. They actually boost serotonin. That's an artificial serotonin goes into your body because maybe your mind is not able to produce it. So they give serotonin. So once the serotonin is released in your body, you start feeling better. People who are in depression, I would never suggest to go on antidepressant tablets. Why? First, that you're putting something inside which is an artificial. Your brain has a capacity to produce it. There are several other ways, right? If it is a chronic thing, go and see a doctor and consult a doctor, a specialist. If it is not, if you are confident enough that yes, you can do it, then try other practices like meditation. There are various types of meditation you can perform, you can practice, and then slowly you will see that you won't need this antidepressant tablets anymore because your brain is able to cope up with any kind of situation. Yeah. So it is a chemical. Serotonin is a chemical which is released when we feel respected, admired, or when we are given special treatment. So for example, if a leader, he walks in and people start standing and clapping, he will immediately feel the burst of serotonin in him. When you go and see your lover and they show you so much of passion, or you will have a burst of serotonin in you. When you work in your working environment and they say, oh, he is the best employee of the month and stuff, you will experience serotonin, burst of serotonin in you. So when people respect you, it is released in your brain. So once you have lost the trust of the group, or you have lost the interest from your partner, the serotonin start depleting, it start decreasing, and that's why we start going into experiencing unhappy chemical. So once you have brain we have inherited, because when we are baby, so you need to understand this, when we are baby, a baby cries for attention, right? He will cry. Once you pay attention, they will become quiet. Why? Because they are seeking attention. Now, once you have grown up, that programming is still wired inside you. It's still installed in you. That's why we always try to look for attention everywhere. When we don't get attention, that's when we start feeling this entire feeling of drop in serotonin. And we feel sad. Oh, I'm not getting attention. I'm not getting attention from my mom or my dad, my sister or my partner, my brother, So we are attention seekers. So this chemical goes up when you get it in abundance. It goes really up. When you start losing attention, it starts depleting. It starts dropping down. Because our brain equates this whole attention seeking thing with the survival. Why? Because if baby won't cry, mother would not know that she have to feed him. Baby has no other way. So because it is a survival mode at that time, to survive, that's why they seek attention, that they are hungry, they need cleaning, they need to be looked after. But as we grow, we do not retrain our brain that we don't need that kind of facility or attention, and that's why we feel upset, depressed, anxious. So once you grow up, it's not survival thing anymore. because now if nobody's going to feed you, you can go and cook yourself, you can buy stuff. You don't need that kind of attention anymore. But our brain is still equating it because we have not trained our brain. That's why meditation is very helpful and these kind of things. You can train your brain. You can suggest, there are very strong suggestions which you can use while you're meditating. So suggestions are like programming, which can reprogram your brain. I'll talk about those things in some other video. So how to maintain serotonin naturally. So you can't control the world, you can't control other person, right? You cannot control people around you. What you can train is yourself. You have to boost your confidence to a level where you know your own importance in life. Once you know your own importance, it doesn't matter what other people think about you, right? You can appreciate the importance of you have, instead of focusing on importance you don't have. So whatever you have, start feeling importance about them. Don't feel like, oh, if I would have that, I would be happy. No, you've already got everything. I was talking to one of my mentor, and I was talking about, and I said to him, and I said, I wish I had that. He said, dude, do you even appreciate that you just woke up this morning alive and you're alive? He said, when you start appreciating these small things, start appreciating that when you woke up, when you open your eyes, you were able to see with both of your eyes. All of your limbs were working fine. He said, how many people who slept last night, they didn't woke up, they died in their sleep. How many people who woke up after the accident in the hospital and they lost a limb? So when you start appreciating small things, when you start appreciating that you woke up alive, you could see everything, you have all body part functioning properly, you'll start appreciating your own life, you'll start appreciating everything. So start appreciating what you have. Then you will experience that it doesn't matter what you don't have. It really doesn't matter, because what you have is abundant already. So that was serotonin. Now we're going to talk about oxytocin. Now oxytocin is a feeling which is directly bonded with emotions. So emotional bonds, physical or emotional, right? It's a warm feeling when you're spending time with your loved one, right? They say that oxytocin is also released when we cry emotional tears. Now, while we are talking about tears, there was a research done in UK where they said they clarified tears into 3 different categories. So first one is normal tears, or you can say it's called antibiotic tears, right? Another one is irrigative tears, and third one is emotional tears. So the normal tear, which we have all the time in our eye, it works as an antibiotic. So what it does is it makes sure that there is no foreign bacteria or anything in our eye. So when we keep on flicking our eye, it removes that bacteria from it. It also cleanses our nose. It goes from here to our nose as well. So its only job is to make sure that there is no infection, to prevent infection in our eye and in our nose. Second one is irrigative tears. Now, irrigative tears is when you experience something in your eye, something fell in your eye and your eyes start watering. That water is 90% water. There is nothing in it, just water, because your eye is trying to flush everything out, right? Third one is emotional tear, which you experience when you experience a very strong emotion, whether it is happiness or sadness. When people cry in emotion, that is emotional tear. Now when you experience emotional tears, the brain releases oxytocin. Everyone would have experienced it in their life, that when they are very emotional and they cry and they go to sleep, they sleep really good because it helps you to sleep as well. They also say that when young child cry, emotionally because he didn't got something or you were not able to get him something, because emotionally he cries, they sleep after that like they're on drugs because of oxytocin. So oxytocin is directly connected with our emotions, happiness, sadness, and especially when you are with your partner, that kind of bond, that releases oxytocin. So this chemical can only be released when you feel like social trust, when you feel like your partner is, you can trust your partner, that feeling, every time you think about your partner, oh, my partner is so good, this oxytocin is automatically released. When you feel extreme emotion of breaking up or something and then you cry, this hormone is released to help you ease off, right? But how do you release oxytocin naturally without experiencing all these extreme things? So you can stimulate oxytocin by enjoying trust. So instead of focusing on trust you don't have, start focusing on trust you have, right? You will have people around you who are very good friends with you and you can trust them. Instead of focusing on people who are not around you and they're not trustworthy, instead of focusing on that, start focusing on people to whom you can trust, right? You can build new bonds, you can meet new people around, you can build trust among them, you can build trust with your family, with parents, brothers and sisters. You can start taking small steps towards making those relationships better. Negotiate expectation that both party can meet and repeat again. Leaders that get out amongst the people to shake hands, give high fives, and give people one-on-one time to address their concern too. Their presence among the team increases oxytocin. So if you admire someone in your life and you go and sit in their seminar and then you're watching them, it's right in front of you and they're delivering speech which you like, you will start experiencing oxytocin on a very high level. So guys, these were the 4 chemicals which are classified as happy chemicals. I hope you understood it. If there is something you didn't, please write in comments. If you want me to go in detail with these 4 chemicals, I am happy to go in detail with them. So please do like my video, share it.